It's Mama Two Wife of One. I know it has been so long since you guys have seen me, but for once, I'm not here to talk about Married at First Sight. I'm actually here to do a little recap of a cruise I just went on with my family. So, yeah, it's something new, something different. For those of you who have never clicked on any of my videos before, hi, I'm Mama Two Wife of One. I'm a content creator. Obviously, I'm a mom and a wife. I'm also a literary editor and I'm an author. And I'm just someone who likes to travel. I like to love to watch documentaries. And I like watching and reviewing and recapping Married at First Sight specifically. But we're not here to talk about TV today. Today we're here to talk about a cruise that I just came back from. I went on an 8-day cruise with my husband and my babies and my husband's family. We went to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and we went to Turks and Caicos on Carnival Magic. So the cruise was, my husband's family, they go on a trip every year. This is the first time we've all done a cruise together. I've been on a cruise before. This is probably my third cruise. My last one was about 5 years ago. So I didn't really remember what to expect. And every cruise ship is a little bit different. So I kind of want to talk about some things, some kind of takeaways. I'm actually going on another cruise on the Carnival in May, in a few months. So this was kind of a good refresher of things that I need to be aware of. The first thing I will say is to go on the website, set up an account through Carnival's website. Once you set up an account, you're able to go in there, book your excursions if you want to book excursions. You're able to make any adjustments to your room. For instance, in my room, obviously it was my husband and myself and our babies. So the way they had the room set up on the website, they automatically put my babies in a bunk bed because they're kids. And then for us, it was like for the first two people on the list, which is myself and my husband, they were going to have two twin beds, but you have the option of changing it to a king size bed. And I didn't know that until I made the account. So I was able to make that change on the website before we ever even got on the cruise. So that was good to know. And also, I don't know if this is all cruises, but on the Carnival cruise, Carnival Magic specifically, when it comes to drinks. Now, I am a casual drinker, but I'm not pressed about drinking necessarily. If I don't get the chance to have alcohol, I'm perfectly fine. So on the Carnival Magic Cruise, they have buffets. They have one buffet specifically that serves, for breakfast, it serves apple juice, orange juice, iced tea, and some kind of orange, guava, grapefruit juice in a machine. In the evening time, it's strictly iced tea and lemonade, and then they have water. So all of that is included just regularly when you buy your ticket, when you book your cruise. All of that is readily accessible to you. However, if you want soda, or if you want to go to any of the bars or any of the restaurants and just get even any kind of regular juice like cranberry or something like that, that requires a drinks package that is not included with your regular booking. I did not know that. My sister-in-law had to tell me that a couple weeks before we left, and I'm glad she did because I had no idea that was a thing. So in addition to having a drinks package, if you want alcohol, there is a separate drinks package specifically for sodas and juices. And I will say this, for the Carnival specifically, and that's all I can talk about, I highly advise you to get the drinks package. The bottomless bubbles package is what we got from me and my husband and my kids. Because the juice that they offer in the machines and the buffet are extra, extra sweet. They're super thick. They're just not good at all. And I don't recommend getting them. I did not enjoy them at all. The apple juice was thick for some reason. It was really weird and strange. Didn't care for that at all. So don't do that. Get the app. There's an app called Carnival Hub that you can put on your phone for free. And once you register and you sign in for your family and everything like that, the app, like I said, is free. You go on your phone every day, and they'll have a list of all of the events they have for that day. They'll have a little heart beside the events, and you can put a heart beside the things you're interested in, and your phone will, give you a little tap, vibrate, whatever, to let you know when events coming up. And it was just really good for planning our days. I am very much a planner. I try not to be as much of a planner when I'm on vacation, but it was helpful to have an idea every day of, okay, these are some things we can do. I personally don't recommend being on a cruise ship for 8 days. Now, the way our cruise was set up, we set sail last Saturday evening on August 5th, about 6 p.m. or so. We were on the boat all day Sunday, all day Monday. We were on the seas. Tuesday, we did Puerto Rico. Wednesday we did Dominican Republic. Thursday we did Turks and Caicos, and then we were on the water all day Friday, all day Saturday, and we came in about 7 a.m. on Sunday. That's a lot of time on the water. And at each port, because we're going to a different country every day or for 3 days straight, you're only in that country for probably like 6 to 8 hours. And so I don't recommend going on a cruise that long. I would say if you're going to do a cruise, maybe no more than 4 or 5 days. So that way, if you're going to one specific country, you're going to be there for at least a day or two. I kind of recommend that, unless you're someone who just likes to travel and maybe you want to do a European cruise. I haven't done that before. So what do I know? I will say that I was not looking forward to the cruise because I typically get seasick. I'm the only person out of the four of us that get seasick typically. But I took Dramamine every day as a preemptive measure. I was like, I'm not playing them games. I don't want to have no headaches. I don't want to be dizzy. Took a Dramamine every day and I was actually fine. Never got seasick. So if you are someone who gets motion sickness, and I will say for me, in my older age, I started getting motion sickness when I would take the train to work, which had never been a thing before. So I highly recommend investing in Dramamine. My sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, they had like the patch behind their ear. They also had these seasick bands, which I've had before, and they work pretty well. You get them from Amazon. It's like a little, it looks like a sweat band kind of sort of. It's a little thinner, but there's a magnet in it that sits on a pressure point in your wrist that's supposed to stop motion sickness. So that's something you can invest in as well. I will say if you go on a cruise, please remember to bring a jacket. It was freezing on that boat, and my son was the only one who was smart enough to remember to bring his jacket. In the restaurants, it was freezing. In our room, it was freezing no matter how many times we fiddled with the thermostat. It was cold, okay? Very, very cold in the boat. I recommend you bring the jacket. Also recommend that you bring an umbrella. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. This is hurricane season. So every country we went to, it rained every time we went to a new country. It even rained some of the days when we didn't get off the boat at all. One of those days, two of those days actually, we were just on the seas all day. It rained. I did bring a couple umbrellas, fortunately. A lot of people weren't necessarily as lucky. So the people who didn't have umbrellas didn't get off the boat when we got to the Dominican Republic. And it rained the entire 6.5 hours we were there. Bring an umbrella, especially if you're traveling during hurricane season. Bring a water bottle. Now, this I didn't necessarily know. I told you how in the buffet they have the drink machines. They also have a machine that dispenses ice and dispenses water. And I saw so many people walking around with their own water bottles that they filled with ice, filled with water, and took back to their room. Thought that was so incredibly smart. Bring your own water bottle. I think that's very key. The rooms have a refrigerator, but they do not have a microwave. So understand that when you're getting food, you can take it back to your room, of course, but you have no place to warm it up when you get back to your room. So that's just something to think about. Also, I would recommend bringing your own iron. I didn't know this either before we got on the boat. The room does not have an iron, but there is an ironing room. I don't know how many ironing rooms there are, but just the inconvenience of having to leave your room to go to an ironing room to iron just to come back to your room, it just seems like it would make more sense to bring your own iron. But also kind of be aware of that because in our room, at least, there were only 2 outlets. And myself, my husband, and my son, we all have a cell phone. We all have chargers. Fortunately, all of our chargers fit each other's phones. We could just have one thing plugged up and charge everybody's phone. It was fine. But there are only 2 outlets. And the way our room was set up, you walk in, there are 3 closets to the left. The bathroom is right there to the right as soon as you walk through the door. The bed is in front of you, and then there is a mirror that has dresser, and it has the refrigerator underneath it. So right there on the mirror is where the 2 outlets are. So if you're sitting on the bed or like there, I brought my laptop with me so I could work a little bit, not like, actual like writing. I couldn't plug it up at the outlet unless I was sitting right at the desk in front of the mirror, but I couldn't sit on my bed and work and charge my laptop at the same time. So just kind of set up so you can plan accordingly. I think you can do that. I will say that there are a lot of activities on the boat. Take full advantage of those activities. They had trivia. My favorite, if you guys know me, I love me some Golden Girls. And they had Golden Girls trivia the second day I was on the boat, and I just had the time of my life. It made me so excited. I was like, oh, this is my tribe of people. This is where I belong. They had several restaurants on board. I will say a lot of the restaurants are part of your food package, so you don't have to pay an extra cost, with the exception of a few, and they're very clear about which ones have an extra cost and which ones don't, so you already know that. They have comedy shows. I went to at least 3 comedy shows. They had the one thing that made me a little uncomfortable. They have a piano bar. And the piano bar stuff didn't make me uncomfortable. It's whatever. It was a nice little room, had a piano right in the middle, and it had stools all around the piano so that people could just sit there, say their requests, talk to the pianist as he played. So my husband and I were just walking around one night, just, nothing to do. We're just walking, just enjoying ourselves. And this is our first time seeing someone sitting at the piano. So we're like, oh, let's just go in and see what's what. So he and I are in the back. And I noticed, because I tend to notice these things as I walk into a room, the piano player is white. Every person sitting around on all the stools, they're all white. They're all drunk as well. Every song he's playing is about America and the flag and, oh, America's great. And I don't know if we're supposed to be here. And not that they did anything, because they didn't even notice we were there, but it definitely made me a little bit now granted, that's not the boat's fault. In the teens club, they had clubs for kids from ages, I want to say, I don't know if they took babies. My daughter is 9, but I know they had at least 1 or 2 groups ahead of her group in terms of age. And then my son is 14, so he was in the teens club. And they're on different floors, but my daughter, through the kids club, they did bingo. They had a rock party. They had a farewell dance party. Sometimes they did kids dinner, where they would rope off an area of the buffet just for the kids, and then they would have their own meal there. Then they would take them back up to the room and do fun stuff. My son, he kind of did the same thing. They had a bunch of games that they played. I don't know if they necessarily watched a movie. I will say the teen thing is a lot more lax. The door just stays open. So because, they're older, so they can kind of go in and out at will. The kids club, you have to sign them in and out. And either myself and my husband had to do it, and they just scan your room key. Oh, this is what the room key looks like, because they didn't take the room key back. I guess you keep it as a souvenir. So this is what the room key looks like for Carnival. So whenever I signed in my daughter, they would just scan the little barcode down here. But she had a great time with that. They had family activities in the kids club. The last day on the boat, they had a family scavenger hunt. So I brought my son with me, and we helped my daughter go all around this boat, taking pictures of random things for the scavenger hunt. We came in second place. Very proud of us for that. But it was a lot of stuff for them to do. They played movies on the deck. They had a nightclub. I will say this. If you are of a certain age like myself, I'm 41. A nightclub by itself is, yes, it's a lot of fun. The music was cool. But a nightclub when you're partying with 18-year-olds, in the real world, you're not partying with that kind of crowd. If you're my age, you're probably going to things that are 35 and up. That's more your speed. 18-year-olds, it's a lot of them are just standing around in a circle. They're not dancing with each other. They're kind of dancing at each other. It's just really weird to watch sometimes. And it's I didn't even come really to party and have fun, did you? You're just here. So it was fun, but the music was fine. I went there a few nights actually with my husband, who doesn't even dance like that. So that was fun. I will say what I love about Black people is we know how to have fun. Not even how to have fun. I won't say that. We do. But we make our own way, and we kind of glom onto each other. My husband and his family, they are huge spades players. This is what they do. They were excited to go on the trip because they all haven't played spades together in a long time. And so as soon as they whipped out a deck of cards and started shuffling, random people walking by, oh, y'all playing? Okay, well, we got next. We played maybe 3 or 4 games with these 2 women without ever exchanging names with them. Because it was just oh, y'all playing spades? Okay, we play spades. Let's go. And trash talking and this and this. And it was a lot of fun. And I will say that people on cruises, they are so much more relaxed. They are friendlier. People are buying you drinks. They're saying hi. They're, just a lot nicer, more patient. But I will say again, I'm not a big cruise person. Trying to make sure. Oh, the main thing I will say if you go on a cruise, if you go on any vacation really, is to manage your expectations. The one thing I wanted to do on this cruise is I wanted to get authentic food at every place that we went. That never happened. And I'll say it's because when you travel to a country, travel to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos, when you travel there directly, you're able to see so many different things, right? You're able to see things at the resort. You're able to rent a car and drive to local neighborhoods. You're able to really absorb yourself in the culture. When you're going there by boat, you're only there, like I said, for 6 to 8 hours. And as soon as you pull up and you get off the boat, they have basically a shopping center right there. It's basically like an open air market. And think the boardwalk at your local beach. I'm from Maryland, so if you know Maryland, think about the boardwalk at Ocean City, right? People come to Ocean City going to the beach. What kind of things do you think you need on the boardwalk? You're going to have towels, you're going to have flip-flops, you're going to have sunglasses, you're going to have magnets and keychains that say Ocean City, you're going to have hats, you're going to have sunscreen, you're going to have all that stuff. So as soon as you get off the boat, that's basically all you're seeing. Most of those places we stopped at, there wasn't even some place to eat. And it's like, if people are getting off the boat and we're spending hours here, why wouldn't you have a restaurant here? Like, I think that's kind of weird and doesn't make any sense. But again, everything is set up for you to just shop, but it's a very small section, and no one's renting a car to be on an island for 6 hours. So you're basically on foot. And again, it's a small little section of just a bunch of shops selling the same stuff over and over again and just expecting to spend all this money. So I will say that was kind of disappointing. The rain obviously was disappointing. My babies didn't get to put on their bathing suits not once in 8 days because the weather was so finicky. And again, it rained pretty much every single day that we were gone. It was nice to have a break from social media and just have a break from like checking emails. That was nice. I did a lot of stuff with my husband. There is a cruise on the boat. There's a casino on the boat. I am not a gambler by any means, but if you are, there's a casino there. There's actually 2 casinos. They have several restaurants there. The food overall on the boat was very mediocre. I will say, if you are familiar with Food Network, Guy Fieri, he has this deal with Carnival because he has a barbecue place in addition to a burger spot on the boat. I never made it to the barbecue spot, but the burgers were good. They were flavorful. They were juicy. It's like, okay, this is Guy Fieri's recipe. They're not going to mess this up. So it was good. I did like the burgers. It was nothing spectacular, but the burgers were cool. They have a seafood place there that you have to pay for. It definitely didn't come with any package, but my mother-in-law, she treated me to that. So the seafood was good because, again, I'm a Maryland girl. I love my crabs. I have my crab legs. I was happy about that. But overall experience with the food was very mediocre. I guess that's it. I mean, cruises aren't terrible. Oh, I will say this. Again, I told you there's an app, right? The Carnival Hub app. Now, I had the app because, again, I'm a planner. I like to know what's going on. I like to be organized. So I had the app on my phone so that I could see what kind of events they have for teens, for kids, and just in general what they're having every day. They also had stuff on there about like the weather for the countries where we're going to. They had an account somewhere on there so you can keep like live track of how much money you're spending, because I had my credit card attached to our room so I could see what kind of charges are being accrued like in real time, which was very, very helpful. In the end, very, very helpful. But and we did this on the Disney cruise. Disney has a similar thing when you do the Disney cruise. You put the app on your phone, and then everyone in your party puts the app on their phone as well, and you're able to talk to each other like, hey, I'm going to dinner right now. Who wants to come? I remember distinctly being able to do that. With the Carnival Hub app, you can do that, but it's an added charge of $5. And no one in our party, there were 10 of us. I would say out of 10 of us, maybe 3 of us had the app, maybe 4 if I'm being generous, and nobody wanted to pay that extra $5. So because of that, if we didn't call somebody's room to see if they were there, then we just randomly saw people on the boat. Like I would just randomly see my brother-in-law. Oh, hey, okay, what are you doing for dinner? You want to meet there this time? Okay. Oh, hey, Mom. Okay, so how about I meet you to do the spa at this time or whatever? So I didn't like that. It was very hard to get together. Obviously, maybe we were just being cheap. But at that point, it was more about like, why are you charging for everything? And this takes me back to, again, the account summary part of the Carnival app. So when you go on Carnival's website, when you set up your account, they tell you, okay, this is the suggested gratuity per person per day. This is how much we suggest that you tip people, right? Now, granted, you can tip on the boat. And my family, we tipped as we went while we were on the boat. So the suggested gratuities, I'm like, okay, that's a suggestion. So that means when it's time for me to do a tip through the app or whatever, I can decide what I want to tip. That was what I thought. The day, maybe the second to last day, I got a notification on my phone from my bank. Now, I'm on the seas. I shouldn't be getting any notifications. That shouldn't really be working on my phone. I would imagine that it shouldn't work. But somehow I got the notification on my phone that this large amount was taken out of my account and given to the Carnival. And I was like, my first thought was, okay, my husband's been in the casino. Has he been using my card? But he was like, babe, I would never do that. I've been using cash. And I was like, okay, so what is this? And I went to guest services and they told me what was going on. And I was like, oh, so y'all just automatically took it out. I was like, well, I don't like that. And I told my husband he didn't like it either. And it's like, no, we decide what we're going to do. You don't tell us what we're going to tip. So I will say, I don't know if that's all cruises or not. That was my first time really experiencing that. But, guest services was very nice. They took care of it and it wasn't a problem. They took everything off that needed them to take off and it wasn't an issue. But I will say that if you do Carnival, that's something to kind of keep in mind and definitely something to monitor. So I highly suggest, again, that you put the app on your phone. Even if the people you're traveling with don't want to do the chat option, which obviously is up to you, I still recommend that you get the app. It was still very helpful in a lot of ways. But yeah, so I mean, as you can see, it's August. I traveled in August. Again, this is during hurricane season. I don't know the exact month of hurricane season. I feel like it lasts a little long. But outside of hurricane season, it was hot. It was humid. It was okay. It wasn't a terrible trip. I got to bond with people and everything like that. But yeah, it was just all right. But those are my takeaways from the cruise. I hope this helped you guys in some way. If you're planning a cruise, planning a vacation or whatever, let me know if you guys want a separate video about how to pack for vacation, especially in my situation. I'm a mommy and a wife. And I pack for everyone in my family because I just feel like I just do it better. So I don't really allow them to help me, but I'm very organized with it. So let me know if you want a separate video on packing tips and techniques if possible. But thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. Give me ideas of other things you guys would want to see from me until Married at First Sight comes back, or just shows or movies or whatever you want me to review. I can do that as well. And I'll see you guys soon.